Paramount is a company that has had pretty great success on Roblox, but that success didn't come overnight. Paramount spent a lot of time working on a variety of different games that didn't perform super well at first, but then eventually got to a place where they were finding success on Roblox. So let's take a look at Nickverse, which was an early Paramount experience. You can see this game currently has 0 active players. It has 14 million lifetime visits, and it came out and was created in 2022. We can look through some of the thumbnails and get a sense of what the game looks like with a hub, with there being a racing game. There's different characters, different IP that are involved, and there's world events, so different things that you can jump into, as well as a store. So this was very much an early iteration of what sort of brands were doing at this time in 2022, where they were building these hubs where it was not necessarily one specific game, but it was like several mini games within a sort of hub and spoke model. So you have a hub, and then it leads out to different spokes, which were related to different IP. So let's go into the game. One thing I noticed jumping into this game and some older games is that if you try to get into it, it takes forever to load. These games have like not been optimized or really updated much lately, and so it takes a super long time to jump in there, um, which is a pain, and which will lead to people not, really playing them now. I'm not even sure that if you can actually find these games by searching for them. I have links that I've kept, so I've been able to access this via an old link. But anyway, here we are. We're now starting to enter the game. We can see some familiar characters, SpongeBob, Aang from Avatar, The Last Airbender. We have SpongeBob and Aang from Avatar, The Last Airbender. We can see that there's a slime-focused minigame. There's also a store, and then character fashions. And then there's a warning here, just an update. Hey parents, visit parents on the Roblox site for info on how to set up parental controls. So calling that into, out for parents. All right, let's hit play. So there's a daily reward. So encouraging people to come back every day, build up that retention. Hey Nickverse fan, we're saying goodbye to Nickverse and hello to brand new SpongeBob and TNT experiences. We'll see you in TNT Battle Tycoon and SpongeBob Simulator. All right, so there's this note here that they weren't supporting this. They made this transition when they launched these other games, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and SpongeBob. But it's good they left it up. We can still see what's here. You walk in, there's these different characters who are greeting you. Jimmy Neutron. And then here's our hub. So a bunch of NPC characters so it doesn't feel empty. And then over here, we've got a couple different IPs. You can go in, and there's a SpongeBob world and Avatar The Last Airbender. They might have had previously different IP in these other sort of portals. There's a race. And then, yeah, there was I'm remembering now, you could get different slime guns and shoot other people with slime. There's some Garfield IP. And then I believe over here was the store. So you could go into the shop, to your hoverboard. You could get a hoverboard. Looks like the shop. Okay, it's still open. Yep. So the shop's going to show up. Different UGC items, so you could be able to dress up as different IP in this experience. If there's anything you can buy now, clothing, buy clothes. All right, so there's in-game currency you could use to get, different outfits. So Danny Phantom, different hair, so you could dress up sort of in the experience. This wasn't to take into other games, but this was just for this specific game. Now, this was, again, a very early game, and so this, if you were building a branded game now, you wouldn't necessarily start here. You wouldn't make a game like this, but this is to give you an idea of what brands were doing in Roblox games, in 2022. It looks very different now, but this was the approach, and it was this sort of branded space. And all right, you go through there. It's taking me to a new area, and then here is like a SpongeBob focused area, so it's branded, you know, as if we're in the location of the show. This arrow's telling me to go over here. So SpongeBob does get a day, something about SpongeBob. I can collect coins, more shopping. So again, there isn't really much gameplay here, right? Like there's some scavenger hunt, getting coins, but you can see that this was an experience that was very much just like, hey, we're going to bring our brand to the platform. So this was very much the first iteration, one of the very first iterations of Paramount on the platform. And it was one that necessarily, didn't get a ton of traction. It doesn't have a really strong core game loop, and so it didn't necessarily get favor with Roblox algorithm. So it wasn't getting picked up organically and getting a lot of traction. All right, we can see. All right, let's figure out. We'll go hit this map button. So it shows us the different areas here. So different areas. Let's go over here. Okay, I think this is for the Avatar, The Last Airbender. Okay, here's a racetrack. Walk on the road to activate your car. Okay, yeah, so you could pick, there's like a Avatar and SpongeBob cars, and then a racetrack. All right, so oops, I'm going the wrong way. All right, this is terrible. Totally not going on. All right, let's see what else. Okay, this is from Avatar: The Last Airbender. This is Water Nation. So more just like places to explore, but not necessarily what do I do in this game. And so it looks beautiful. As somebody who enjoys this IP, Avatar: The Last Airbender, this is really cool, but just not super fulfilling in terms of wanting it to come back and play. All right, so this was a look at Nickverse from Paramount. This was an early branded experience on Roblox, and it shows, hey, where brands were starting. Not a lot of core gameplay, not a strong game loop, lots of branding, kind of a hub with interesting IP, but who is this game for? What are they there for? Why would you keep coming back? Just it's missing some of that sort of core gameplay that Paramount would introduce in later games that they rolled out. All right, if you like this video, please give it a like. Check out more if you're interested. If you're interested in understanding more about Roblox and brands, visit maxpowergaming.co, where you can sign up to the Max Power Gaming newsletter. And I'm Stephen Dypiangco. You can check out me on LinkedIn. All right, thanks.